Hi everyone, Letty here. Today I'm going to share with you a craft with me video where we make 2 easy card designs using the Simple Stories Happy Hearts collection. Welcome back everyone. I recently just posted on Instagram, which is Party Planner Papery, my channel, these 2 cards that I had made one night using the Simple Stories Happy Hearts collection. And so what I wanted to do was just kind of show you this collection really quickly. I have the tags and I also have some 3x4 cut aparts. And then I have the different papers. And here's what I have left over. I had purchased these papers from scrapbook.com. And I really like that one. These papers are so cute. So I posted on Instagram that I really wasn't sure which sides to use. And I ended up just biting the bullet and making a couple of cards. And then I really like the way that they turned out. And I wanted to show you how I put them together. So in this video, we're going to make the same 2 cards that I made. And I'm going to show you walk through step by step. And then I'll have all of the dimensions of all of my mats and my papers down in the description box below. So you can make these 2 cards as well. And you can make these with any collection. Again, I'm just using Happy Hearts by Simple Stories. So again, I have 2 very easy card designs. I have already cut all of my papers off camera, but we're going to assemble them together. So the supplies that I'm going to be using is this Micron 8 or Pigma Micron 8 pen. I got it from Joann's. I think they sell them in multiple places, but that's what I use to make all of my doodle lines. The paper did not come with these black lines on the borders. I did draw those in. We're going to do those together on camera as well, so you can see. I have some scissors, just basic scissors, some twine. This twine was on clearance, just pink, from Hobby Lobby. 75 cents for the whole roll. And then I have some Dollar Tree foam, and I am using the actual foam because it's a little bit thinner. I'm not using the foam squares. And then I have enamel dots by Echo Park. So I'm going to just use 3 of those colors to add just a little bit of extra pop to the cards. In the Instagram post, I used tape runner, but on this post, I'm actually going to go ahead and just use my ATG, which is the 1/4 inch tape. So first, let's start with design number 1, which is going to be this one, the one that has the larger mats and then the tag with the 3x4 cut apart. So I have a card base, a large mat, a smaller mat, an even smaller mat, and then a tag. I put some twine and I added some enamel dots to just finish embellishing this card. So super cute, super easy. Again, I will list all the measurements in the description box below. Here are my items already pre-cut, ready to go. This is what you'll need to make this card. And then we'll finish it off with those lines using the Micron 8 pen. So I have my card base, which is just your A2 standard card base, 4¼ by 5½ is what it looks like folded. And then a large A2 mat, which is 4 inches by 5¼ And then I am also using a medium mat, which is 3½ by 4¾ That'll go right in the center. And then I have a smaller mat that's 3 inches by 4 inches. And what we're going to do is we're going to angle this slightly just to add a little bit more texture to the card dimension. And then we have our tag, and I've already punched a hole. We'll add some twine, add some foam tape to the back, pop it up just a tiny bit, and that will finish out our card. Super easy. And so here you can actually see the difference, the comparison between the card that has the doodles and the card that doesn't have the doodles. So I think they're both super cute cards. If you prefer the extra kind of black lines, definitely add those doodles. If not, then feel free to not include them. I'm just taking out my little cutting mat from Dollar Tree. Let's assemble this first card together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive to the back of the largest card mat. And what I did was I used these card mats from my Smash Our Stash challenge this month. I had made a bunch of these card mats, and so I'm just trying to use them up. So I added it to the center. Next, I'm going to take the next largest mat, and I'm going to go ahead and add that immediately in the center of this first larger mat. So I'm just going to add it right in the middle, and it's going to look like this. So we'll have about a 1/4 inch border all the way around. Then I'm going to take my 3x4 cut apart, or my 3x4 piece of paper, and I'm going to add that adhesive to the back and then angle it to the left, just so it adds a little bit more kind of dimension or texture to the card, because everything won't be just straight up and down. And then I'm going to add that tag to the actual card itself. But before we do, we're going to cut some twine. I'm going to use about 9 inches, give or take. And that's the twine that I'll use to add to my tag. So first thing I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and put the two ends of the twine together, just like this. And from the back of the tag to the front, I'm going to push the two ends through the little hole, just like this, leaving the loop in the back. Now, when you have your loop in the back, you're then going to go ahead and put those two little front ends right through the loop again. And that is how you string a tag. Super easy. And then this is optional, but I personally like the look of changing my ends to a bow. So I'm just tying them into a bow, just a regular little bow, to add them onto my cards. So that's what it'll look like. And again, that is optional. You can leave just the ends if you'd like. Now I am going to go ahead and add some foam tape to the back of the tag. Now this roll from Dollar Tree is on the thinner side, which is I thought would be perfect for this card because I figured I would still be able to mail it because it wouldn't be so dimensional. The other Dollar Tree dimension is really great, but it does bulk up the card. So you see here, this is kind of what it looks like. I added a little bit at the top as well, and that will go directly onto the card. But before I do want to draw in those lines so you can kind of see, but let me show you what the card looks like without the doodles. So here's what it looks like even without. So if you wanted to make this card, again, I'll have all the dimensions in the description box below. I'm going to go ahead and add in the doodles so you can see what the difference is. Now, one thing I do want to recommend is I definitely recommend adding these doodle lines before you finish adding all of your layers. I strongly recommend adding your lines ahead of time to your paper, and you'll see that on my next card. I just wanted to show you in this first card what it looked like if you did not have those doodle lines, and so you could see the difference. And then I am also going to add them to my tag. So I'm going to go ahead and add them up first here as well before we kind of finish gluing things. And again, I recommend you add the doodle lines before you add it to the card and even before you add that twine. Just makes it a little bit easier. But again, for the purposes of this video, I wanted to show you what it looked like. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the backing of the dimensional tape from the back of my tag and then add it right in the center of the card. And that's pretty much it. The one last thing I am going to do is I'm going to add some enamel dots to the card itself just to add a little bit of extra texture and dimension. Again, this is optional. You do not have to do this. I'm adding 3. I think sets of 3 look great. So here is card design number 1 is now complete. Here's what it looks like. Very cute. And then we're going to go ahead and go into card design number 2. So it's just slightly different, has the same number of pieces, but one of them is a smaller piece. So again, I will list all of the measurements in the description box below, so you could take the same design and make some cards as well. So I have my same A2 size card base, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my large A2 mat, 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my last 3 pieces, which this one is the smaller mat, 2 inches by 4 3/4. This is the only one that's different between the two cards. So you could very easily mass produce these. And then a 3x4 mat. And again, I'm going to go ahead and center that to the right. So I put the smaller piece on the left, the larger piece on the right, and then my tag, I'll add twine, and then I'm going to go ahead and add it towards the right, but towards the right bottom. So it'll look just like this. So again, here is design number 2, which you could do without doodles. This is what it would look like. And again, I'll show you another comparison of what it looks like with doodles and without doodles. So let's go ahead and assemble this one. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and add our adhesive to the back of the mat. Now, the only thing that I'm going to do different on this process is I am going to add the lines ahead of time. So I'm going to go ahead and draw those doodle lines. And again, this is the method that I recommend if you're going to add any kind of doodle lines. Do them ahead of time. Do not try to do them after you assemble. It's a little bit harder that way. And so then I'm going to go ahead and add the doodle lines to the smaller pieces of paper mats, just like this. Super easy. Now, I'm not going to add a line to the tag because it is pretty dark. You could do a white line. I've done that before, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave it blank on this in this case. So I'm going to add that skinnier mat to the left, and you could technically just add the tag just like that. I think it looks great just like that, but I am going to go ahead and add that mat to the right side as well. So we're going to take the 3x4 piece of paper, and we're going to add it towards the center top to the right of the card. just like this. And I'm just turning it on its side to kind of help align it a little bit easier. So just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and add the twine to the tag the same way that I did the first one. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my bow, just like I did the very first one. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and add our foamed tape to the back of the tag, the same exact way that I did the other one. So I'm just cutting it down. This really is such an easy design. You could absolutely mass produce these. And again, I'm just going to add a little bit to the very top of the tag just to kind of even it out. Now, you could just add a stamped sentiment if you didn't have tags. Let me just show you here. I had an extra one lying around, but I am going to go ahead and add the tags because I did purchase the sheet of tags from this collection. So I'm just removing the backing of the foam tape and then adding the tag towards the bottom on the right-hand side. So here is our final card. I'm just going to add the enamel dots as well. And again, this is optional. You do not have to do it. On the first card, I added them to the top right-hand corner. I'm going to add them to the bottom left. So here is my completed card number 2. So here are the 2 cards, the one I made on it for Instagram and then the one that we made together on camera today. So I ended up with 4 cards, my 2 original and then the 2 additional ones. Here's what they look like. That was design number 2 and here's design number 1. I did accidentally go out of the line on one of those cards. I'm going to show you right here how you could fix it just by adding a little zigzag. So I did 3 zigzags, one on the left, one on the right, and one at the bottom. Here's the difference, just to kind of cover up that little extra line that I had accidentally done, again, because I didn't do the lines ahead of time. Let me know which design is your favorite. Do you like design number 1 or do you like design number 2? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for visiting, everyone. Hope you subscribe, like this video, follow me on Instagram, and as always, happy crafting.